lovelies. It's wonderful to see you all again, and thank you for stopping by. And to anyone new to this channel, lovely to see you. And here we cover everything to do with art journaling and colouring books. But I absolutely did not think it was going to be this long between making videos, so I need to explain sort of a little bit of what's been happening. And while I'm talking to you, I thought you might like to see a few odd journaling pages which never actually made it as far as a journal, and these are pages that I made very early on. So if you're new to art journaling, the next few pages you'll see are really very simple pages that are good for starting off, apart from the last page, which was made a bit later on. So I'll let you have a look at the pictures while I explain my absence. And I just wanted to say really that I'm so sorry there's been a gap since my last video in February. But I've been dealing with a particularly tough spell health-wise, and I live with multiple chronic illnesses, and while I try to sort of keep going during the bad days, sometimes I hit the worst ones, and that's what's unfortunately been happening lately. And again, rather unfortunately, these aren't the kind of illnesses that go away with sort of rest or time off. So my uploads may always be sort of just a bit irregular, and I truly wish it were different, but I want you to know that I never just not bother to make a video. If I go quiet, it's only because I have to, not because I want to. And at 70 years old, I admit it can take a bit more energy than it used to. But anyway, thank you so much for your kindness, your patience, and encouragement. And every comment, like or subscription really does mean the world to me. And every one of my subscribers, you're all really precious. I'll never take you for granted. And I just want to say thank you for your company during my very diverse art journeys, which, as I say, covers the world of art journaling and colouring. But now I have some good news. And I can't believe this. I never thought when I sort of started this channel last September that I would ever reach 100 subscribers. And I have. And I've just passed 100 subscribers. And I really didn't ever imagine that so many kind, creative souls would find their way here. And I'm truly touched by your support. And as you know, this channel will never be monetized. It's purely a hobby, and one which I hope gives pleasure and maybe a little bit of inspiration and relaxation to others, because that's the way the world should be. And I think we all need little escapes into another world. Now, I promised you back, I think it was in January, that if we ever hit 100 subscribers, I'd share a little something special. So today I'm going to show you what I've made for you, and also a little bit about how you can use them. So I'll just clear the deck here and show you what we have. So now for your free digi downloads that I've created, and I've actually created two, one particularly for art journaling and the other for the colouring community, and they are interchangeable, and I'll explain that in a minute. So let's start with something that I thought, well, very spring-like, and that is an A4 sheet of spring butterflies. So here they are. That's the printed version, and I'll show you here. This is what the digital version looks like, and then you can cut them out to whatever size you want really, and you can make them bigger or smaller, you know how it works, but that is your actual A4 size, and it will also print onto letter size if you're in the US. And I've also found that the type of paper that's best to use is at least 120 GSM or £80 if you're in the US. And the link to my digital downloads is in the description box below, and if you click on that, then you can be directed to a web page, perfectly safe link, and you will find the images on there, and just right click and save as onto your computer wherever you want to save them. So this is what they look like when you fussy cut them out. As you can see, you can have all different sizes, whatever really you want to print out, but I thought that was sort of something quite nice and spring-like. So I'll explain in a minute how they will be interchangeable, whether you do colouring or whether you do art journals. So let's pop that over there. And now for my colouring page, I thought we'd have Happy Hedgehog, and here he is. He's quite sweet. I quite liked him as I drew him. It's a fairly simple page, but you can make it as simple as you want to colour in, or as complex as you want to colour in. And this was my version of colouring him in. Put them side by side. There we go. And what I mean about being interchangeable is, if we wanted to, we could take Happy the Hedgehog, there he is, and maybe put one of the little butterflies somewhere down like this, just visiting that flower. And we might have maybe another little one up there. He's a bit smaller because he's further away. Or maybe we could put this one somewhere over there, just landing on a toadstool. And you can do all sorts of things. Often butterflies are better in the law of 3. So maybe he's just landing there, or even on his foot, although then you wouldn't see his foot. So no, I think it's probably better somewhere like that. So you can use cut out butterflies on your colouring pages. And I think they look quite sweet. So if we pop Happy the Hedgehog, let's pop him over there for now. And if you want to use Happy Hedgehog in your art journal, and it doesn't really show up on there, let's put them on here. Butterflies have already flown away. I had 2 as I carried this page in from my art studio into this room. 2 of the butterflies actually flew off the page and I can't find them. So yes, strange things happen with my butterflies, so beware. Anyway, well, we can either have a little picture of the hedgehog and turn one into a stamp, do all sorts of things. Now, this will give you some idea how you can use colouring in an art journal, and this is my Defemerember 2024 journal, which some of you will have already seen, but there we go. Now that was a colouring hedgehog, and so you could maybe colour Happy in, and he could sit on the top of the log or something like that. I didn't have time to colour him in. I thought, no, better get on and finally make this video. So they are, as I say, very interchangeable, and I hope that you enjoy the spring butterflies. Now this one here, this does have the antennae that you can cut out, but on the smaller butterflies, as you probably already discovered, trying to cut antennae out, you end up sort of with cutting them off because they're so thin, so tiny. So the best thing to do is to add your own antennae on there There we go, you can see. And then with this one, I just gave him a thicker black middle. If that comes out, that's shiny. So you can sort of tart up the butterflies however you like. So I think that concludes the freebies and my little celebration for 100 subscribers. I'm so thrilled. Honestly, I didn't think that I would ever get to 100. And you are all complete strangers. I don't know any of you, so it wasn't that a lot of my friends joined or anything. So I am so thrilled, and thank you for subscribing or clicking on this video, and I really hope you enjoy your downloads. And I'd love to know, do you do colouring and journaling, or do you just do journaling, or do you just do colouring? I'd love to know, so please let me know in the comments below. And now, preview of forthcoming attractions. Move this out of the way and bring in something else. There we go. I think that wobbled the table. There's always some mishap, isn't there, during my videos? It wouldn't be me if there wasn't, would it really? Now, this has got nothing whatsoever to do with cooking. Absolutely nothing. But there's something hidden within this book, and what is inside here has either worked, in which case it will be a good video, or it hasn't worked, in which case I'll have to think of something else. But anyway, I just wanted to say it's lovely to see you all again. I've really missed you, and it's great to be back. So, happy journaling and happy colouring. Till next time, bye bye.